Morning out here in the African wilderness, where we seem to be having something of a leopard bonanza. Both Brent and myself are sitting with these gorgeous spotted cats. My name is Jamie, and this morning it is my pleasure to have the very talented VM on camera with me. And I'm so glad that on the penultimate episode of our live safari series, that I finally get to introduce you to my favorite leopard on this reserve. Of course, we shouldn't have favorites, but one cannot help to have favorites in situations like this. And just quickly, by the way, you will notice that there is another vehicle in this sighting, enjoying it with us. They are guests from the Chitwa Lodge, which is where we are at the moment, so they get to enjoy this with us. Now, this, everybody, is Thandi. And Thandi is the eldest daughter of a Queen Karula, along with her sister Shadow. And we'll tell you more exciting things about Shadow in the not-too-distant future. But just remember, on your live safari, if you'd like to know anything more about these extraordinary cats, you can send through your questions on #SafariLive on Twitter. And just below her, of course, is another special little surprise in the form of her 7-month-old baby cub, who at the moment has got such a full belly that he can't even find a comfortable position to lie himself down. Now, the very beginning of your live safari, you would have seen in the sort of beginning opening credits, you would have seen a leopard being chased by a baboon and 2 tiny little leopard cubs running away. That is this leopard. This is that was the very first time I ever saw this cub, and that was what really cemented Thandi as my favorite. Of course, we love all our leopards, but seeing the way in which she risked her life to save her 2 cubs when they were so small, we didn't even know that those little cubs were there. We were just sitting with Thandi, and all of a sudden a troop of baboons came racing out, and Thandi, in true maternal spirit, threw herself straight into danger, because a baboon is a serious risk to even an adult female leopard, and she raced forward and distracted the large male baboon and led him away from her 2 little cubs. And that is what makes Thandi such an extraordinary creature. Just like her mother Karula, she knows exactly how to mother her cubs. Now, we've spoken before about the fact that this area is dotted with Karula's offspring, and the fact that she's been very successful. Kyle, you want to know how rare is it for a full litter of leopard cubs to survive to adulthood? Very good question, and good morning to you, Kyle. Very rare indeed, which is what makes a Karula such an extraordinary exception to the general rule. There is a 70% mortality rate for cubs under a year old. That's 70% of them that do not make it. And both Thandi and her sister Shadow have had more tragic histories in terms of cub raising than Karula. Karula has beaten the odds repeatedly, and we're not quite sure what it is about her. She's obviously exceptionally skilled. Oh, he's so gorgeous. Look at him tucked up like that. I promise you, I think he's the most beautiful leopard cub I've ever seen, but maybe I'm biased. When he looks at you, and you'll see soon, when he does look at you, you'll see the extraordinary bottle green eyes that he has, and the slightly over-large ears as well. Unfortunately, already, both of Thandi's cubs have not made it, so she's got this one. It has survived, but the second cub, very sadly, was killed by lionesses not too long ago. It was probably about 3 or so months ago. But he's managed to make it to 7 months old, minus a sibling, but he's made it to 7 months old, and we can only hope that Thandi continues to be successful while she raises him. Somebody is seriously exhausted. Look at him. You can see he's panting. He's got such a full belly. That's why his breathing is so fast. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just that he is so full that he is trying to cool himself down, breathing rapidly. The belly, his full stomach is pushing up against his lungs. And of course, all of the digestion of that meat is also producing an exceptional amount of heat. Look at that dangly foot. Now, I'm sure you've all been wondering what's been happening while you've been away, and in the past week since our previous TV show. I know that James wants to tell you all about it and also show you something very small.